Most AI agents break the moment you hand them a real document. Not a clean API response. Not a perfectly formatted JSON. A real PDF, scanned, messy, multi-column, maybe a scanned invoice from 2009 with a slightly tilted scan. The agent just chokes. And the standard fix is to send that document to a cloud parsing API. Which means your data leaves your machine. Every single time. LiteParse is built to stop that from happening. It is a local document parser, purpose-built for AI agents, and it runs entirely on your hardware. No API keys. No data leaving your environment. No monthly bill for parsing tokens. You point it at a file, it returns structured, clean text that an agent can actually reason over. So what does it actually do? LiteParse handles the formats that break most pipelines. PDFs, including scanned ones with OCR. DOCX files. HTML. Even messy tables that other parsers just flatten into garbage. It returns clean, chunked, structured output, the kind an agent can ingest without hallucinating because it misread a column header. The demo is straightforward. You install it locally, you pass it a file path, and you get back a parsed result. The API is minimal by design. It is meant to be dropped into an existing Llama index agent pipeline in a few lines. You are not rebuilding your agent, you are replacing the one fragile step that was quietly failing. What surprised me was how much of the complexity it handles silently. Multi-page PDFs with mixed layouts, it processes them. Tables inside PDFs extracted, not mangled. Scanned documents OCR runs locally, no external service. That last part matters more than it sounds. Healthcare data, legal documents, internal financial records, these are exactly the documents that tend to be scanned PDFs, and they are exactly the documents you cannot send to a third-party API without a compliance conversation. But here is the thing, LiteParse is not trying to be everything. It does not do real-time document streaming. If you are building a pipeline that needs to parse documents as they arrive in a live queue at high throughput, this is not optimized for that use case yet. The latency on complex scanned PDFs as real OCR locally is slower than a cloud API that runs it on dedicated hardware. That is the trade-off you are making. Speed for privacy and control. It also does not handle every exotic format. PowerPoint files, for example, are not in scope. If your agent needs to parse slide decks, you are going to need something else for that step. And the output, while clean, is not a magic semantic layer, you still need your agent to be smart enough to use what it gets. LiteParse prepares the document. It does not interpret it. Now, what could this realistically become? The immediate next step that makes sense is tighter integration with local LLM runtimes. Right now you parse locally and then you might still call a remote model. But the logical endpoint is a fully local pipeline, parse with LiteParse, reason with Llama or a local Mistral instance, return results without a single external call. That pipeline is already possible to build manually. A tighter first-class integration would make it trivial. The other realistic direction is agent memory. Parse documents that get stored in a local vector index, with LiteParse handling the ingestion side reliably enough that the retrieval side can actually trust the chunks. Right now the weak link in most local RAG setups is dirty document parsing. Fix that, and the rest of the pipeline gets dramatically more reliable. So why does this exist? Because the default path for document-heavy AI agents runs through third-party APIs, and that path has three problems. Cost, because API-based parsing charges per page or per token and it adds up. Latency, because a round trip to a cloud service adds time to every agent step. And compliance, because a lot of the documents agents actually need to read should not leave the building. LiteParse is an answer to all three of those at once. It is not the most glamorous tool in an AI stack. It is not the part you demo at a conference. But it is the part that has been quietly breaking production agents, and fixing it locally, without adding a new external dependency, is genuinely useful engineering. If you are building agents that touch real-world documents, not clean APIs, actual files from actual humans, this is worth 10 minutes of your time to evaluate. Plug it into your pipeline, run your worst PDF at it, and see what comes back. Next episode, We are looking at a tool that does something similar but on the database side, agents that query your local SQL databases without ever exposing your schema to a cloud model. If that is your problem too, subscribe so you do not miss it.